السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه والتابعين وتابعيهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد, today it is Friday, the 16th of Dhul-Qaada, 1445, and this matches the 24th of May 2024. This is our session number 4, going through the description, the booklet, the description of the Prophet's Hajj, عليه الصلاة والسلام, by the Sheikh Muhammad, Jemil, Zeyno, رحمه ta'ala. And as I mentioned, as today it's Friday, the lecture will be shorter, inshallah. We'll leave some time at the end so that brothers and sisters can make a lot of dua, inshallah. Yesterday we were at the speech of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam that he gave in Arafah, and we reached the point where he mentioned that the blood and the wealth, your blood and your wealth is haram for you. Violating that is like violating the sacredness of that day, the day of Arafah, that month, the month of Dhul-Hijjah, in that place or that city, which is Mecca, the Al-Haram. And then he said, alayhi salatu wassalam, that all the affairs of the pre-Islamic era, the ignorant pre-Islamic era, is cancelled, is void, is null and void. He said, تحت قدمي هاتين موضوع. They are placed under these 2 feet of mine, meaning it is cancelled, has nothing, is worthless. دماء الجاهلية موضوعة. The blood that was shed before Islam is also dropped. No one can ask for it in terms of ransom money or to be for the killer to be killed, and like all of it is cancelled. And he mentioned that the first blood that he will drop is our blood, the blood of Ibn Rabi'ah, Ibn al-Harith, Ibn Abd al-Muttalib, the cousin of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was being suckled or breastfed in Bani Sa'd, and Hudayl, the tribe of Hudayl, they killed him. Also, the last piece that was mentioned yesterday is riba al-jahiliyyati mawdu'. All the usury that was before the ignorant pre-Islamic era is also cancelled, is dropped. And the first riba I will drop is our riba, the riba of Abbas ibn Abd al-Muttalib, his paternal uncle, عليه الصلاة والسلام. فإنه موضوع كله. All of it is dropped, all of it is cancelled. So if somebody took a loan from him, which he has to pay loan with riba, the riba is cancelled. Just to repay the loan only, there is no riba involved. That's where we stopped yesterday. Then he said, alayhi salatu wassalam, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ فِي النِّسَاءِ. So then fear Allah regarding the women. فَإِنَّكُمْ أَخَذْتُمُوهُنَّ بِأَمَانِ اللَّهِ. For you surely took them with the aman. In one narration, amanatillah, right? The trust of Allah. You took them with Allah's trust. So like they are entrusted. You are entrusted with the women. I need to look after them, to keep them safe and secure and look after them. وَاسْتَحْلَلْتُمْ فُرُوجَهُنَّ بِكَلِمَةِ اللَّهِ. Their private parts are made allowable for you, يعني intercourse with them is allowed for you, بكلمة الله, with the word of Allah, right? The word of Allah, the Quran, the legislation, right? They are legislated. It is legislated. Marriage is legislated, and this is the way to have intercourse with them. وإن لكم عليهن أن لا يوطئن فرشكم أحدا تكرهونه. Surely it is for you upon them, يعني your right over them, your right that is due upon them that they should, take care of, and that is أن لا يوطئن فروشكم. Furush is the carpet, is the mattress, is whatever you put for people to sit on. And يوطئن, they should not allow people to step on or to come in. أحدا تكرهون. This is literally, but the meaning is the women should not allow anyone that you dislike. أحدا تكرهونه. Anyone that you dislike, they should not allow anyone that you dislike to enter your home, regardless of who that may be, that person may be. That is the right of the husband on the wife, that she will not have anybody step into his home without his permission, especially anyone that you dislike to enter. فإن فعلن ذلك, so if they do that, if they violate this, فاضربوهن ضربا غير مبرح, then discipline them, a discipline that is not severe. ولهن عليكم رزقهن وكسوتهن بالمعروف, and for them upon you, that is their right upon you now. لهن, they have a right upon you. It means the right is رزقهن, to provide for them, وكسوتهن, to clothe them, بالمعروف, with that which is known to be good. وإني قد تركت فيكم, and I surely have left within you, ما لن تضلوا بعد, that which you will not go astray after it. إن اعتصمتم به, that's if you hold on to it, if you hold fast to it. The book of Allah, Kitab Allah, right? The book of Allah. وأنتم تسألون عني, and you will be asked about me. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying to the people who are present, you will be asked about me. فما أنتم قائلون, what are you saying? What are you going to say? فلنسألن الذين أرسل إليهم ولنسألن المرسلين. We will surely ask those whom the messengers were sent to, and we will ask the messengers themselves, as in the Quran. So what are you saying? قالوا, they said, نشهد أنك قد بلغت وأديت ونصحت. We testify that you conveyed the message. وأديت, you fulfilled the duty or the trust that you were entrusted with. ونصحت, and you advised. فقال بإصبعه السبابة يرفعها إلى السماء. فقال بإصبعه السبابة. قال, usually it means he said. He said, to say. But here قال بإصبعه, he said with his finger. Right? So this is an action that he did, not a statement. So you say قال بإصبعه, it means he pointed with his finger. يرفعها إلى السماء, he raises it up to the sky. وينكتها إلى الناس, and he points it down to the people. So like this, and he goes like that. Like this, he goes like that. وينكتها إلى الناس اللهم اشهد اللهم اشهد. ثلاث مرات between brackets he said 3 times يعني he said that oh Allah be the witness. ينكتها أي يميلها he directs it down يعني ما لا يميل is to incline, right? So he would point up to the sky and then he inclines his finger down towards the people. طيب. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم عند الرمي يوم النحر, and he said عليه الصلاة والسلام at the time when he was stoning on the day of sacrifice, that is the day of Eid, he said لتأخذوا عني مناسككم, take from me your rights of Hajj. فإني لا أدري, for I surely do not know, لعلي لا أحج بعد حجتي هذه, maybe I will not perform Hajj after this Hajj of mine, this pilgrimage of mine. وقال أيضا ويحكم أو قال ويلكم, and he said also woe to you, لا ترجعوا بعدي كفارا, do not go back after me as disbelievers. يضرب بعضكم رقاب بعض, some of you would strike the necks of the others. أخرج الخطبة مسلم عن جابر. This khutbah, this speech of the Prophet ﷺ is collected by Muslim from Jabir. يستفاد من هذه الخطبة العظيمة. We benefit from this great speech. It is benefited from this great speech. Number one, تحريم سفك الدماء البريئة, the prohibition of shedding the innocent blood of the people. وأخذ الأموال بغير حق, and taking the wealth without just right. وهذا تأكيد لصيانة النفوس. This is an emphasis for the protection of the souls. والملكية الفردية, and the individual ownership, the individual right to own for every person. والقضاء على الاشتراكية الفاشلة, and annihilating the failing socialism. وهي فرع من الشيوعية الملحدة, which is a branch, socialism is a branch from the atheistic communism. وقد عرف الناس بطلانها, people got to know its invalidity, the falsehood of it. فثاروا عليها ليتخلصوا منها, so they revolted against it to rid themselves of it, to save themselves of it. يعني the Sheikh, يعني the book is long ago, communism and history now, right? يعني maybe ideology, still there are always insane people who follow weird ideologies, but those times are gone. Right? The times of the communism and the Russian, and those type of ideologies, they proved to be false, and the people themselves dismantled those ideas. Yeah. Second benefit, تحريم أخذ الربا. But the book is authored long ago. I don't know, maybe 30 years or something like that. تحريم أخذ الربا, the prohibition of taking usury, riba, interest. وهو الزائد على رأس المال قل أو كثر. And that is what is more than the capital, whether it is little or a lot. And if it's $1 or $100 more or 1 cent more, all of it is haram, is riba. قال تعالى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وإن تبتم فلكم رؤوس أموالكم, Surah Al-Baqarah 279. If you repent, then what you will get is the capital, the capital of the money, the original money that you gave as a loan that's what you will get back. The third benefit of this speech فيها الحث على مراعاة حق النساء. In it there is the encouragement to take care of the right of the women والوصية بهن and to ومعاشرتهن بالمعروف, and advising وصية, right, to take care of them, that is, and to treat them in a way that is known to be good. معاشرتهن بالمعروف, to live with them and to treat them with that which is known to be good. وقد جاءت أحاديث كثيرة. There has come a lot of ahadith that are authentic. A lot of ahadith have come that are authentic ahadith في الوصية بالنساء, regarding giving good advice and counseling to look after the women. وبيان حقوقهن, clarifying their rights, والتحذير من التقصير في ذلك, and the warning against falling short in that regard. Point number 4, استحلال فروج النساء بالزواج الشرعي, the allowance of the marital relations with the wives through the legal marriage. كقوله تعالى, like the statement of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah An-Nisa, فانكحوا ما طاب لكم من النساء. So marry whatever you feel is good for you, what is good for you of the women, what is good and pure, whatever you wish. ما طاب لكم من النساء. Number 5 of the benefits of this speech, لا يجوز للزوجة إدخال أحد يكرهه الزوج في بيته. It is not allowed for the wife to allow anyone to enter the home of the husband. It's not allowed for her to enter anyone whom the husband dislikes to enter his home. So no allowing anyone that the husband dislikes to enter the home. سواء كان رجلا أجنبيا, whether that person was a foreign person and not related at all, أو امرأة, or a woman, أو أحدا من محارم الزوجة, or even anyone of the maharim of the wife. Maharim, يعني like her brother, like her father, like that. Maharim, anyone who is not allowable to marry her. فالنهي يتناول جميع ذلك. This prohibition covers all of that, كما ذكره النووي, as النووي, Imam النووي عليه رحمه الله, mentioned this in his explanation of Sahih Muslim. So the woman, the wife, is not allowed to enter into the home, to allow the entry of any person that the husband does not like him to enter the house, even if he is a close relative, even her father, even her brother, right? If he doesn't like that, then she is not to do that. Number 6, يجوز للرجل أن يضرب زوجته إذا خالفته فيما تقدم. That it is allowed for the man to discipline his wife if she goes against what has passed. إذا خالفته, if she goes against him فيما تقدم, regarding what has passed. It is allowed for him to discipline her, ضربا ليس بشديد ولا شاق, a beating that is not severe nor hard. لا سيما الابتعاد عن ضرب الوجه, especially staying away from hitting the face, أو تقبيحه, or making dua on the face to make it ugly and horrible. فإنه من خلق الله, for it is from the creation of Allah. وقد ورد النهي عن ذلك, and the forbiddance has come in this regard. وهذا من قوامة الرجال على النساء. This is from the qawama, the maintenance or the leadership, or I should say the supervisory position that the men are given over the women. كما قال الله تعالى سورة النساء 34 الرجال قوامون على النساء. The men are maintainers over the women. بما فضل الله بعضهم على بعض, because of what Allah has made excel. Allah made some of them excel over others, and Allah made the men excel over the women. وبما أنفقوا من أموالهم, and because of what they spent of their wealth. So this supervisory position or the leadership, it is because of two reasons, as in the ayah here. Allah gave them that excellence, the men over the women. Second, because they are the ones who spend over the household. Now, this issue in the West is a big issue, is a taboo even to talk about it, right? But this is what is in the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is what is in the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We're not going to change any Quran or change any sunnah for the sake of anyone. Yes, we deal with this wisely, whether we are in the East or in the West. So to start with, because this is one of the things that the non-Muslims attack Islam about, to start with, this is something that is allowed, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that no beating that is severe. And the scholars, they gave the example of like the miswak, the tooth stick, using that. And this basically means it shows displeasure. It shows that the husband does not approve of what happened. This is how it is. It should not be severe to break or to cause blood or to change the color of the skin. The severe beating is not allowed. And on top of that, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about those who beat women, he said, لَيْسَ أُولَٰئِكَ بِخِيَارِكُمْ. You will not find those to be the best amongst you, because there are ways of handling this without resorting to the beating. And this is the last resort, actually. Even in the ayah about nushuz also. وَالَّتِي تَخَافُونَ نُشُوزَهُنَّ فَعِظُوهُنَّ, advise them, admonish them. وَهْجُرُوهُنَّ فِي الْمَضَاجِعِ, abandon them in the beds. Then the last resort is the discipline. So it's not like the first thing. And it's unfortunate that because Allah gave the men the body, power and the ability, the physical ability, they would step the limits. It's just the nature, like the like the jungle, the bigger and stronger, they will prey on the weak one. And this is East and West, unfortunately. Even the Western culture, which is so much into the feminist movement and the women's rights, and which they go to the point that they are a lot of men are the ones who are oppressed, and they started forming associations and groups to fight for their rights, to fight for the rights of the men, which is a reality, because the law is being used against the men, and they are deprived of their rights, so they have to do something to get their rights back. So that is the case now, especially in the areas where the beating or even shouting and is not allowed, like the Europe and Canada, United States. People need to be extra careful. This is not canceling the rules that are found in the Quran and the Sunnah, but this is applying whatever you can of the rules in a wise way. First of all, we are told that this is not the best way, and the men who beat, they are not the best Muslim men. That's first. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he is described ما ضرب بيده شيئا. He didn't beat anyone, not a woman or anything. عليه الصلاة والسلام. That's the Sunnah. Right? That's the model to follow. Now, in places where if this happens, then jail term and a lot of problems will happen, then definitely you need to stay away from that completely. Right? You need to stay away from that completely, and not to go into anger and go overstep in a way that you will ruin the family and ruin the condition of the children and all of that. And there are so many, unfortunately, cases, things that happened where the man becomes regretting what he did. The woman, the wife, regrets what she did. If she called the police, or she regrets what she did, and they try to get back together, and then maybe the laws do not allow them, right? Because they consider him to be a danger for her, and even if she says she wants, they will not. So a lot of trouble happening. So just that, but what is in the Quran is true. What is in the Sunnah is true. It needs somebody who is wise and knows what he's doing, so they will apply it in the right way. Number 7, فيها الحث على التمسك بكتاب الله. In this speech of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم, there is the encouragement to hold on to the book of Allah, الذي فيه عز المسلمين ونصرهم, which involves, the book of Allah has within it what leads to the izz, the might for the Muslims, and Nasr, their victory and support. والتمسك بسنة الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم المبينة للقرآن, and to hold on to the Sunnah of the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, which clarifies the Quran. وإن سبب ضعف المسلمين اليوم وإن سبب ضعف المسلمين اليوم, the reason behind the weakness of the Muslims today, هو تركهم الحكم بكتاب الله. It is actually them, تركهم الحكم بكتاب الله, them leaving, judging, ruling, applying the book of Allah in terms of their disputes. وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم وسنة رسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. Them, the reason behind that is them leaving or abandoning judging by the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and judging by the sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. وَلَا نَصْرَ لَهُمْ إِلَّا بِالرُّجُوعِ إِلَيْهِمَا. They will not have victory or support except when they go back to them both. In it also فيها الدليل الواضح على علو الله على عرشه. In this speech there is a clear evidence to the fact that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is high above his throne. حيث رفع الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم إصبعه إلى السماء. For the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم raised up his finger to the sky ليشهد الله على أنه بلغ الرسالة, to make Allah his witness that he has delivered, he has conveyed the message. Also فيها الأمر بأخذ مناسك الحج وغيرها عنه صلى الله عليه وسلم. In this speech there is a command to take the rights of Hajj and other than it from him صلى الله عليه وسلم من أقواله وأفعاله وتقريره, from his statements, from his actions, and from his approvals. وفيها إشارة إلى وداعه لأصحابه. And in that speech there is a hint, Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم pointed out to him giving farewell to his companions. He said, maybe I will not see you again, right? Take from me your rights, for I may not be able to perform Hajj after this year. The last point that we'll mention here, and we will stop inshallah, التحذير من القتال بين المسلمين, the warning against the fighting between Muslims, وهو من الكفر العملي الذي لا يخرج صاحبه من الإسلام. This is from the disbelief by action. Disbelief by actions which does not take a Muslim outside of Islam, which does not take the one doing it, صاحبه, the one who does it, does not take him out of Islam. وهو كقوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is like his statement عليه الصلاة والسلام: سباب المسلم فسوق. Insulting, cursing or slandering a Muslim, insulting him, is يعني cussing and cursing, is فسوق, is an act of wickedness. وقتاله كفر. And fighting him is disbelief. Fighting him is an act of disbelief. So Muslim fighting another Muslim, this is called disbelief, kufr. But it is the kufr of action that does not take one outside of Islam. But definitely it is a sin, and a sin that is called kufr, even though not kufr that takes one outside of Islam, is worse than a sin that is not titled or is not called disbelief, is not called kufr. So this is the type of statement here, that kufr, disbelief, do not go back as disbelievers after me, striking the necks of each other, killing one another. Right? This is now making the act of killing a Muslim, making it look very horrible, to a point that it is a major sin that Rasulullah ﷺ called kufr. Right? Although it does not take one outside of Islam, but it is a major sin. This hadith, سباب المسلم فسوق وقتاله كفر, is muttafaqun عليه. It is agreed upon. I will stop here, inshallah, to leave few minutes, whatever is left, maybe 5 or 6 minutes or more. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك, so that we make dua, inshallah, whatever is left. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. جزاكم الله خيرا. عليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته, brothers Abu Umar and brother Mahbub. بارك الله فيكم.